Celebrate over 100 years of steak perfection with Omaha Steaks. Right now, save 50% site-wide during their anniversary sale. Plus, get an extra $35 off with code CERTIFIED at omahasteaks.com today. They're America's original butcher, and only Omaha Steaks delivers a full lineup of extra-aged steaks so tender, they're USDA certified tender. Their customer favorite filet mignon has even been elevated to USDA certified very tender. And that attention to quality doesn't just stop with steaks. We're talking beefy burgers, air-chilled chicken, premium pork, and so much more. And every bite is backed by their 100% guarantee. Shop now to save 50% site-wide on steaks and more during the anniversary sale at omahasteaks.com. Plus, get an extra $35 off with code CERTIFIED at checkout. That's omahasteaks.com, code CERTIFIED. Minimum purchase may apply. See site for details.
Dreaming of blissful summer days and creamy popsicles? Capture sun-drenched memories with the Orange Vanilla Dream Hydration Multiplier from Liquid IV. Just one stick and 16 ounces of water can help hydrate you better than water alone. Live your summer dream with Liquid IV. Tear, pour, live more. Go to liquidiv.com and get 20% off your first order with code INDULGE20 at checkout.
Welcome back to Bumbershoot, where we're covering life's chaos with humor and heart. And this is part 2 with our sit down with Rosario, Maddix's mom. And she's going to get right back into where I cut her off from last week. So
they're practicing on you or your children.
Right. Yeah.
So if you don't advocate and if you're not opening that door of possibilities for that next person, then they're just going to continue doing
status
what
quo.
they're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah. Well, you guys are amazing. Your family, like when you see you, I think people can see you like right away, and you know the perception. Somebody doesn't know you or just is getting a glance. Like, first of all, they feel bad for you and your family. Oh, how sad, their poor son. And then they think about like, gosh, you know, I would imagine some people think you don't do much with Maddix and his Mads, as I call him, and his condition, but it's the contrary. Mm-hmm. This family, first of all, there is no feel sorry for us. They live their life like you can't believe. Like they just, it's part of their, it's like brushing your hair, like taking care of Mads. Like when I see them, and I have gone to church since and sat with them too. And Dad was right. Maddix is just, he loves music and he just really gets into it. And he sits still through Ted's whole sermon, which is incredible. But you guys just, it's incredible how you operate, and it's seamless and beautiful to watch. And then if you follow them, they don't not do anything. Mm-hmm. I mean, they really have, and have done with things with Maddix, all the things you've done with him that he could possibly do. And some things I know get harder as he gets older, and I wonder how Jace is going to, that's what I think we brought up on the boat. How's he going to pick him up in 10 years?
I got muscles too.
Mom will do it. Well, yeah, I guess, but I don't know. He's going to be picking you up. But yeah, like it's, you know, as he gets older, he doesn't carry any of his own weight, right? Like,
yeah,
at all.
Dad weighs. So when I say he weighs like 105 to 110 pounds, it's 105 and 110 pounds of dad weight. There's no assistance.
Exactly.
He'll sometimes like hook your neck here and there, but he'll just be cracking up and he'll like go swing back a little bit. And I'm just like, please.
It makes it heavier.
Yes. What are you doing?
Yeah, but you both get him out of his chair. You both hold him on your laps. You both, I'm sure at home, move him from couch to bed to couch to whatever. And then Brixton's an amazing little brother who they love each other. Yes, it's the cutest joy between cute brothers. And
he's such a cutie pie.
I know, so cute.
Literally, like, you know, when I take pictures of them, I'm just like my whole world in just one picture.
Right?
You know, and just the love that they have for each other, like every single morning, you know, there's Maddix Binky, he calls him Binky. So, bye Binky, you know, and he'll just be like sitting on the couch or in his chair yelling for him to wake up. And then you have Brixton just running out of the room and like scaring his brother, and Maddix just all limbs flare up, you know, and he just gets it because Maddix loves being scared.
Oh my
And
gosh.
he just sits there
So
and
cute.
just
So
like
cute.
dies laughing, you know,
And Brixton can like pull him and yank him and hang
my
on
gosh.
him and it, like totally. And Matt just like
he just goes with the
goes
flow.
with the flow. He does. He's so cute. And
Oh my gosh.
and I have to say, Dad's not the only one that gets the side eye at church.
No,
He does give me the side eye.
yes. But he'll get you a little side eye, and as soon as you catch his attention, or you know whatever.
Yeah, as soon as I catch his attention.
Yes, you look in the corner of your eye, and he's all like,
We totally eye each other. And then he gets that smile. I mean, that
is so
smile
cute.
brings like, it melts my heart. And that's why I'm so distracted. Sorry, Ted, at church. But I'm like half the time looking over at Maddix because I'm like, hey. But he loves blondes. And the first time he met me, I think I had a hat on. So he didn't fall in love with me the first time. But the second time I made sure I didn't have a hat on. And then he thought I was a blonde. And it doesn't matter how old you are. He loves you no matter how old.
Pretty is pretty. When he sees a pretty girl, he will make you know you're pretty.
He is, and he's
So
just,
sweet.
his spirit is the sweetest spirit. Yeah, he is just a light, 100%, and as your whole family. So I want to bring up, so when we were planning for Stars, and I went with two of the girls, I went with Shelby and Rosario, and we went dress shopping to, it's Aria. Aria Dress Shop, and our sweet little owners there are amazing. They also donate the dresses to our Benny moms, or the Bennies themselves. And so we went there. We had fun dress shopping, and then we went accessory shopping, and then we weren't done. The girls were like, we don't need to get home. So Rosario was looking for shoes, and Shelby's like, I don't need to go home either. She just hung out. We hung out. It was really sweet. It was a great time. I think we even ate something. Didn't we go eat something?
Yard House.
Yeah, we went to Yard House.
Nice.
So Rosario gets this drop dead gorgeous dress on her, and she knows how she wants to do her hair and everything. And then what was it? 3 weeks before Stars, Maddix.
It was that Stars was what, the 22nd?
Yeah.
So it was the 4th of that month.
Yeah, so it was like
about-
3 weeks. And Maddix ends up, one thing leads to another, and he ends up in the hospital. And just a summary of what was going on, of like what,
How we got
what,
there.
yeah, what brought you there, and then kind of what ended up not being diagnosed. Or
Yeah. So this is a fun story. Well, let's see. I'll start off with in December. Okay, so December, I started noticing like his left ear being slightly flaky. And I'm like, what is this, you know? Cleaned his ear and it would come back. And I'm like, what is going on? So then come January, my gosh, that's when like everyone and their mother
sick.
was sick,
Yeah.
you know?
It's like,
So it was like 1 week after another. I was out for like a weekend. You know, my youngest was out. Brixton was out for a weekend. That same weekend with me. I don't know if G's got it as bad as us, but Maddix got sick. He never had a fever because I always say, I'm like, I think because I did the white vinegar towel wrap on his feet, I don't think he ever broke a fever. But he was just very always tired. So when Maddix, obviously, when he gets sick, like it hits him 10 times harder, not because he has a weak immune system, because he is so healthy, but because he can't clear a cough, you know, or he can't blow his nose or things like that.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of
didn't
people
even think
like
of that.
Yeah, a lot of people would see him and be like, "Oh, he's immune compromised." I'm like, he is healthier than you probably are. You know, like with all his vitamins and supplements that we give him, like, and he eats so good. Like, no, that's not it. But you know, January, I had a referral to go see an ENT, but we obviously couldn't because we were
All sick.
yeah, I'm like, I couldn't take Maddix to go see an ENT. They'd send me straight home. Like, what are you doing here? You're sick, bro. So,
Sick, bro.
so we're like, okay. Towards the end of January, he was just not acting right. He was very cranky, and I'm like, okay, you really just don't feel good, you know? Like, but he was like still himself in a sense, but just getting like more irritable. And 1st of February, what started to happen was he started to have like some random flaring his arm around And just kind of like his eyes would just widen up. And I'm like, whoa, like, what's up? You know, like, let's calm down. Like, let's lay you down. Let's relax your legs. My husband and I would like massage his thighs, his ankles, his arms, his back, everything, you know? And then February 4th, I'm like, maybe like, you know, because he goes to the chiropractor like weekly. He goes to Trailhead here in Marietta. So we have all been going there since beginning of 2020 when Maddix got when he was cleared to go to the chiropractor after he got his spica cast taken off. So we've been seeing Dr. Chris there for like the longest time. And I like texted him and I'm like, hey, like, I don't know if Maddix's like hips is bothering him, his back, something's just not right. You know, like, do you mind if we come in tonight? And he's like, absolutely. So we get in there. I have my nanny. I'm like, I told my nanny to meet me there with the boys. And we all like, we all went there. We got adjusted. I'm like, okay, cool, you know? So then I don't know if I had to go somewhere or I had to take Brixton to jiu-jitsu. So I'm like, okay, I'll take Brixton and then just take Maddix home and Jace was at the house. So evidently, like, he was just not having it. Like, just total
even after an
chaos.
adjustment.
Yeah. So we're like, okay, what the heck happened now, you know? So then I get home that night and Jace is like, I cannot calm him. Like, he's just going like crazy, you know, just like panicky.
Agitated?
Yeah, super agitated.
Because he was in pain?
We don't know, you know? So we're like, what is happening? Like, trying to figure it out. And then like, oh no, Jace took Brixton to jiu-jitsu. Anyways, that's what it was.
Details.
It was something. Yeah, because I remember like he took him there and I was texting Jace, like, Maddix is not coming out of this panic episode. You know,
that's what you were seeing it like a panic.
Yes, and like we even have like a grounding mat, like a PEMF mat that I had him on. I had him on the vibrating plate. I was massaging his back with like CBD, with magnesium, like everything, just trying to see like what is happening. Like even, because even that PMF mat that we have, like it gets nice and warm. It literally calms you instantly, you know? And I was even sitting there like calming myself. And
you're falling asleep on Maddix.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. So, you know, come around 7 p.m. comes that night and I was like, I gotta go. You know, Jace is like, loaded him in the car. Like, and the whole time he's just like breathing super hard. You know, his pupils is like his whole eye. His arms are just flaring. And I called my mom saying like, hey, I'm taking Maddix to the ER right now. And she's all, I'm getting in my car. What's happening? You know, like
that's what moms say. It makes me cry because every time I say that, my mom's like, I'm on my way.
Yeah, and she's like, I'm already having foot out the door. Like, what's going on? And I'm like, okay, put a bra on. You know. So she meets me there. I'm in there, and Maddix, he is dripping sweat, freaking out, and I'm trying to like check him in. They're checking this person in. My mom's just like, excuse me, like my grandson needs help. You know, like. All these things. So all these like they send me to like the little check your vitals
kiosk
area.
Place, yeah.
And someone comes running with an oxygen mask. They're like, is he seizing? Because he's had 2 seizures before. And one was a febrile seizure and the other one was just, we don't know. But it was just like, they're both 5-minute long seizures. And I'm like, this isn't like his typical seizure that he's had. This is like a panic attack. Look at him, you know? And they like rushed him back. You had like 15 nurses just working on him. And I like was keeping my husband updated, you know, and
which mentally for him was probably
making
not
it worse,
helping. Yeah.
So
not that they could have, I mean, everybody had to do what they had to do, but I can imagine he was just freaking out.
Yeah. And with Maddix too, like his veins are so little that like a lot of the times
they can't get it.
You know,
it's freaking him out more.
Yeah,
just keep
and
trying.
He's a freaking pincushion by the end of the night. You know, you're just like stop. You know, like stand back.
Yeah.
But even they gave him 2 doses of Ativan. It didn't calm him. They gave him morphine. Didn't calm him. They gave him Tramadol. It didn't calm him. And finally, they because they were trying to do a CAT scan too, to see because they did an X-ray to see make sure he had no obstruction on his stomach. And then they tried to do a CAT scan, but he just kept moving his arm. He couldn't sit still. So then they finally gave him a dose of Versed. I don't know if they gave him 1 or 2 doses too. And this is a matter of like, I kid you not, maybe like 30 to 45 minutes. And like, it was just back to back and nothing was calming him. And they're like, well, he's got, you know, he's got 2 strains of flu A and he's got also pneumonia. And I'm like, okay, like,
oh, wow.
that's great and all, but what is going on with my son? Like, what's going on with these episodes that he's having, you know? And they're like, well, we need to focus on, you know, the flu and pneumonia. I'm like, again, what is going on with my son? Like, again, that could be cured. We're here. We're here for this right now. But that is something that's unknown and we don't know, you know? So they ended up transferring him to Radies in San Diego. We were there for 18 days.
Oh, my God. And we were praying, all of us were praying, for Maddix mainly, but then also Stars was approaching.
Yes.
And we so wanted him to be able to be there.
I know. It was definitely, it was 18 days in there. It was just,
of not figuring it out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, but I laugh because like the aftermath of this is just ridiculous, you know? But so they ended up giving him Persidex because that was the only thing that was calming him. But I guess you can't be on Persidex for like longer than 3 days because then you'll get like hardcore withdrawals. Oh, so they're trying to give him, you know, like ibuprofen, and I'm like, fine, if it's helping at this point, like there is a time, you know, for like Western medicine.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Which whatever, that's not our first option. But at the end of the day, like when you see your child helpless and not trying to figure, like, and you cannot figure out what is happening. This is a whole new world at this point that we're like, what the heck, you know?
Well, you have to make them comfortable.
Exactly. So they're like, okay, well, Tylenol.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/zip. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/zip to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/zip. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/zip.
What helping? I'm like, no, it's that Persidex, you know what I mean? Like, pump it up a little bit. Give me some too while you're at it. No, but, and, you know, we still have Brixton at home too. So you know, we had amazing friends, amazing family that was just helping my husband and I do the switch, you know, like, all right, can you watch Brixton while, you know, I'll work for a little bit.
And you were juggling your work and appointments.
You know, and, you know, bless my clients because they're being so understanding, obviously. Thank you so much. But, you know, and then I would drive down to San Diego, do the switcheroo, you know, for a few days here and there. And my husband just took all the time off, you know. His work was great with that. And, like, his coworkers were great, too.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But, you know, come to, like, one of the nights that I had to drive home, he was in there for about a week. And he got his MRI, and I was like sitting there. I was with my mom at the gate, right where they bring, like the doors where they bring Maddix up. I'm like, I don't know why it's taking so long. Something is wrong. There is like this pit in my stomach that I cannot control. Something happened. So my husband calls me, and he's like, hey, I just spoke to the nurse because he was waiting in the room for him to come up.
I remember this call.
Yeah, and he's like, Maddix is going to be coming up soon. And he's like, probably like 20 minutes. I'm like, why? And he's like, I don't know. Like, they just said it's going to take a bit because the nurse has to do like her runs. And I'm like, okay, but can you ask them, like, be transparent? Mm-hmm. You know, like, we're putting our trust in you, like, be transparent, you know? Mm-hmm. And we have had screaming fights with these doctors, you know, because they just weren't listening. And he calls me back and he's like, yeah, they just said because she has to make her rounds. And I'm like, so nothing's going on. And he's like, no. I'm like, okay. So then as you know, finally the nurse comes down. She's like, oh, I'm going to go get him. And we're like, okay, cool, you know. And then I'm just like already like crying, you know. It was just nonstop tears. And then he finally comes out and Maddix is like still out. And I'm like, you know, give him a little kiss on the forehead. And the doctor or the anesthesiologist. Yes, I'm about to say esthetician. That'd be nice.
Not that doctor.
The anesthesiologist is like, so we did have some complications. And I'm like, what?
That's what you knew, mom's intuition.
Like, yeah, we heard some gurgling, and then come to find out he was actually throwing up when he was sedated. So we had to, like he aspirated, and I was just like, oh my gosh, literally, furious. I was keeping my cool because I didn't want Maddix to feel my rage. And we had to like wait outside because they had to like undo everything, get him set up, and then I'm like, but make sure when you're about to wake him up, my husband and I need to be in that room. Mm-hmm. I don't want him to wake up to
see somebody else,
right?
Sure.
Yeah. So we get in there, he wakes up and he just starts yakking everywhere and just puking everywhere over and over. Like, is it normally like this? And I'm like, he just got out of anesthesia, and evidently the doctor told me that he puked during his MRI, which you guys all failed to let us know, So he just kept puking. And then that night, since he woke up, he was in a state of panic. Like even the Persidex was not even working, and we're just trying to juggle. It's like 8:00. My husband's like, babe, you got to go get Brixton. He was at one of our friends' house. I'm like, I cannot leave like this. And he's all, I'm here. Mm-hmm. I will handle it.
It's hard for a mama to let go, though.
Yeah, and I'm just crying, and my mom was with me. We called her Jinxie the cat because she just slept on the windowsill. Every time I slept there, and I had to leave, and come 9:00, it's pouring rain that night, by the way, and I'm just driving as safe as I can, just trying to compose myself. Because, you got to be the strong person in front of your mom.
Yeah, that's right.
And my husband calls me, and Maddix is just still freaking out. And he's like, the doctors want to sedate him, basically put him in a coma, essentially,
Oh, gosh.
And I had him call Pastor Kyle from our church and to pray over Maddix before they put him under. Because I didn't want him to obviously, And then that next morning, they ended up doing it. And then that next morning, Pastor Kyle actually drove down and prayed over Maddix and over Jace and everything, which
that's so
our
sweet.
church is just so amazing, And then we had, Pastor Ted reaching out to him, Pastor Taylor, and so
had a lot of prayers over you guys that time.
So during this whole time, we just continue asking for an ENT. I'm like, we have a referral for an ENT. Can we just check his ears? And, the NPs and the doctors will be like, oh, I can look in his ear. And they look and he looks fine. I'm like, that crust looks normal to you? I don't have that crust.
And he still had it after all this time.
Oh, wow. Yes. I'm like, you, I'm sure, don't have that crust. So it's not normal. Mm-hmm. It's not even common. So what the heck, And then everything else was happening. So, there was just so much happening that was kind of like a thing that I kept asking for. But at the end of the day, still trying to keep the doctors out to keep Maddix calm.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I feel like he was still wound up because he's not in his home. There's people coming in and out. He's getting poked and plugged. Tests and the strangers. And I was like,
anybody with a white glove, he's like, no,
Yeah.
And Maddix, he's a very, very, very good judge of character. If he doesn't like you, he will make it known that you've got some darkness or something around you that he does not want you around. I'm not even exaggerating. And there was this one NP that she would even peek her head over the blanket, and he would catch her in the corner of the eye and just instantly scream.
Oh my God.
And she just there was one NPs that my husband and I would literally there was about to be delicate.
You weren't comfortable either, and he knew, he sensed it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And so he was basically induced for almost 3 days. And the doctor, a different rehab on the floor, rehab med came in and that's when I was there. So Jace was there when he went down, and I was there when he was up, or when they woke him up. But he didn't wake up necessarily for 24 hours because he was still so medicated.
He was totally, I remember.
Right?
He was still totally stoned.
We videoed you. But he ends up, the doctor comes in saying that he wants to give him baclofen again. And I'm like, no. And they're like, what about Klonopin? And I'm like, I don't know about that. I'm like, if it's anything like baclofen, absolutely not. Because I told him what happened. And he's like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe he's not the best candidate for that. And then he's like, but there's a nasal one that doesn't affect your brain. It affects the muscles. And I'm like, well, it could be an option. You know what I mean? How's that Klonopin though? You know, like I don't know much about the Klonopin either. And we start talking about
a foreign language test.
Right? Heavy drugs. And I'm like, well, let's start at the slowest dose. I don't want to go any higher. I don't want to do high doses. I just want to see what he needs when he wakes up. Because during those 3 days, they took him off of Persidex. So the only good thing about that was he basically
weaned off without it being
out.
That was good.
That's so good. I'm like, you know, we were good with that one. And you know, we were just playing literally the whole time we were there, just worship music, just like playing out there and all through the door. Yes. Red light. I had my red light therapy there. Everyone called it the red room. And just, you know, sound box, everything, you know, just the whole 9 yards, trying to make him as comfortable as possible. And when he finally woke up, back to the freaking episodes, you know, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, and they're like, well, his lungs, they still sound diminished. And that word, I just want to like take out of the vocabulary because I'm just so fed up with it. But I'm like, okay, well, his flu is clear. His lungs sound diminished, but he's breathing, you know, like you guys kept thinking it's because he can't breathe. And why these episodes are happening. And I'm like, he's on oxygen. He is on, and then with the CPAP.
Yeah, that was a whole nother hole in his face.
Yes, that CPAP. They were supposed to check that he had a CPAP machine going on, and they're supposed to check it every 4 hours, and they didn't check it for 3 days.
What?
So he has this crater in his face, you know? Yeah, and this scar's still there, you know? And they're like, well, you know, it shouldn't have happened. I'm like, well, duh, you know, like, and I'm like, if we brought our child looking like this to the hospital, CPS would be at our door.
Right? Yeah.
But since you guys have a medical degree, you guys get a slap on the wrist. Like, like that's not the end of it, sad. You know? But, so we told him like, he cannot have a CPAP again. Like but he had to do the whole face mask, even though like how much you needed it, you know? But I'm like, we're not going back to this. And, still everything's happening, still episodes, you know, and when he finally was able to basically, like, he's clear from the flu and his lungs are sounding better and whatnot, we got sent down to the bottom room. So I told my husband, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a step closer to home.
That was your clue that you're getting there.
But I'm like, but still no answers. And we just kept telling him, like, why are we here?
Yeah.
Why are we here?
Well, that's when you guys were like, if we can get him home in his environment.
Exactly.
If you're just going to be in a room at that point.
And my husband, like, he's like, we will be at that gala. You know?
Yeah, he was determined.
Like, I don't care. We will be there, even if it's for an appearance. And the gala was, the 22nd, right?
I'm pretty sure it was.
Saturday.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
So on the 21st was when we actually got sent down to the bottom floor.
Yes,
and
because you thought you guys were sure. Well, Jace was like, "I'm gonna roll him in as soon as they let me out. I'm rolling him in."
He was on a mission, you know, down on a mission. And so that night was just literally like hell as well. Like we're down there, the room was just no energy. The energy in that whole floor was just like, we need to get out of here.
Yeah.
Like
it was so long,
so long. Just over
no
it.
answers. And
And then we had a nurse again that knew it all evidently because I kept telling her, you know, X, Y, and Z, and she would do the complete opposite, and then something would happen, you know. And I'm like, again, listen to me. Like, what are you doing? And then that next morning, I had no sleep that night. I'm just so fed up, you know, with all the care or the non-care. And a group of like one doctor and like 7 residents come in. They're like, yeah, so we just went over the file and we just wanted to, you know, just touch base. I'm like, I just look at them and I'm like pitching the bridge of my nose with my eyes closed, just looking down. And my mom's like on the edge of the seat because she's just like, she's about to explode right now, you know? And they're like, so I'm like, you just read his file and you think it's smart for 7 of you to walk into this room right now, or 8 of you, you know? And they're like, well, you know, and I'm like, with his pen, I'm like, I just calmed him down and I was freaking out. Like, you guys need to go. One of you can say, like, well, we're here for blah. I was like, they're like, do you have any questions? I'm like, how the heck do we get out of here?
That's my question.
We need to get out.
Yeah, that's my question.
Well, we're going to have OT do a swallow test. I'm like, no. And they're like, yeah, well, we're going to have an OT do his swallows test. We got to see if he's going to be going home with that, NG tube. I was like, my child is not leaving this hospital with an NG tube when he came in fully capable of drinking and eating by himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're just like, well, we'll see with the OT. I'm like, you're not listening. I'm telling you that's not going to happen, And they come in, they touch everything. They touch the machines. They do this, they do that. And then they tell, and then his nurse comes in, or the RT. No, it was the nurse. And she's like, why is the feeding off? Why is this over here? I was like, they literally just came in here, created a freaking tornado, and they just left. They literally turned everything off, did whatever. And she's like, what the heck? And she's like, why do they want me to give him a second IV bag? And I'm like, because they said that his diaper wasn't wet enough, even though I just told him it got changed an hour ago. I'm just like, what the heck?
They just weren't listening to anything.
My husband comes in, and I'm literally on the verge of crying. I'm so mad. And he's like, babe, you got to go and get ready for the gala tonight.
Oh, and that's how you came into the gala after that day. Oh, you poor thing.
What a tough day.
Yeah, so I rush home to shower. My mother-in-law had my youngest Brixton, and I rushed over to Pachanga.
To Pachanga, get your
hair
and makeup done.
And then my husband's calling me, and he's all, we're making it happen. And I was like, what? And he's all, I'm getting Maddix out of here today no matter what. And he's all, this is ridiculous. He's going down the list. And I'm like, I know, don't make me cry right now. And I was just so angry, and I just was trying to not show it to everybody and be like, why is this darkness here? She needs to go. So the whole time, I'm just smiling and just relaxing, going with the flow. That's all I can do right now. My husband's Papa Bear came out, growling, and we did the gala. We did not make him get out, or
Yeah, they didn't get him out in time, but
no.
But Rosario, we did a FaceTime, and they were on the other side. We had it up on the screen.
Yeah.
It's definitely unconventional, but we made it happen, and I was so glad that you at least could be there, because it was.
And you could not tell that you had that kind of a.
You didn't tell that at all.
No. I mean, as an outsider, and Brixton was just so cute on stage too. He was so sweet.
He was so excited. He'd be like, Maddix is smiling, because we would tell him things, and he was so happy. It's like they, on that end and on your end, because Brixton's, how old is he?
He'll be 7 on Saturday.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so he was 6, and he totally got it, and he totally got it was just if you couldn't have him there, it was kind of the next best thing.
Absolutely.
And
did he start saying, that's not all?
He did.
With you?
Oh, yeah. Brixton started saying
He did.
Right.
And you'd have what was it? Did you guys get SeaWorld or something? Was that one of the things? I remember with the stuffed animals. Yeah. And he was just holding everything. He was showing his brother in the oh my God, it was so cute. So cute.
And I think that's why it was so hard too, because it's we're juggling Maddix at the hospital. And also, Brixton was at home crying that he just wants brother home, So it's you're having your heart literally broken in half, and half of it's at the hospital and half of it's at home, and we're just trying to
that's always the hard thing about this,
But
siblings are always affected, both parents.
For sure.
It's always a thing, no matter what the problems are and the conditions. When you've got a child in the hospital, there's usually children at home that are getting not neglected, but just. They start missing mom, they start missing their siblings, and it's not normal for them. They get emotional, and
the family's split up when you're in the hospital that long. He's not having both of his parents at home with him at the same time.
Your whole life was turned upside down. Your environment's completely.
It's another reason why I'm glad that you came, because Brixton kind of needed that.
I think
he really got to enjoy himself. Even though he didn't really know what was going on. Yes, him and Cameron.
Those two.
Our other beneficiary from this year. Yeah, Brixton and Cameron really connected, and
they did.
And so we got to we'll definitely be 2 episodes with this one, but. I just want to kind of wrap it up by first of all saying I'm so glad that you actually ended up filling out the application, and that you guys are now part of our little family. And, just kind of summarize like your like Charity for Charity. I know when you're going through all that, you don't know what the gala was going to be like. You don't know gala. Everybody says it different. You didn't know what to expect. So and then what was super cool was at the end, you came running up to me and told me what?
I'm going to pick up Maddix.
I'm going to get my baby.
That was exciting.
It was cool because we got to do the main part of the event, and then she got the call that Jace was on you needed to pick him up, right?
He's like, we're getting discharged.
So she went running in her gown and running out of there. It was like so cute. So we got to announce to everybody that he was getting out that night. And it was like the perfect little
moment
wrap up to your part of the event, and it was just so special. So
I want to fast forward though to just, I guess, a month or two in April when I found out what was causing this panic episode.
Oh yeah, you got to tell everybody what happened.
I leave you on a cliffhanger.
Yes, I want to know.
So, a week before Easter, I realized that Maddix had a severe inner ear infection.
That's what it was.
ENT all along, right? Should have seen him.
Yep. If the ENT saw him, so much could have been prevented.
Gosh.
Because the second we treated that severe ear infection, back to himself.
Poor baby.
Can you believe
you were
that?
even saying that he had stuff coming out of his ear.
And if the hospital would have listened to Mom, they would have had an ENT visit.
That is wild that they didn't.
They need to listen more to the parents.
And I kept telling him, too, his equilibrium is off. Like, his hand-eye coordination is not matching.
That's why he was flailing, probably. He was dizzy.
Exactly. And it's like,
And it hurts.
Yeah.
Like, there's so
painful.
much.
Especially when it's deep in there. Because even they're like, oh, that looks like it's very deep in there. You know what I mean? And his ear was, like, red and inflamed. And they just were so, like, they did neglect it to even really
poor baby.
look at all that. But, like... We are so like they ran so many tests, but we are so like we just kept praying to God that like everything comes back normal, which thankfully it did.
Which it did, and that was answers to prayer.
But it's like we had no answer still. But all in God's timing, and you got to trust His plan.
Yes.
Again, at the end of the day, you're just like you're baffled. You know, like that's why like I laugh at it because I'm like it was a damn ear infection that caused all of it. But.
Well, I like to look at it and not to but I like to look at it in that moment because I kept saying like, Lord, don't you want Maddix here? Don't you want him here? But you know what? God got to speak to that whole room about prayer and faith and then they got to see an answer to prayer and he got to get released. True. And so I think that little part was something. I don't know that it was the whole purpose, but I definitely think God used that to speak to the room and the masses.
And his story went viral. You know, so the amount of love and prayers that we got from obviously our friends and family, but from our community, from our church, from obviously Charity for Charity, you know what I mean? Like there was just so much love and prayers like just flowing our way. It was overwhelming and it felt like hard. You know what I mean? And I get emotional even thinking about it because, we've never experienced so much love like that,
That's amazing.
Well, and that's a beautiful thing. And anytime God can shine his light on, people that live out their faith, it's always used for good.
That's right.
So, well, thank you for coming today. Thank you for sharing all of that. I know it's not always easy to rehash things that are like tough.
Yeah.
But it's good for people. I think there was a lot of messages in this whole thing. A lot of like tips people can take. You got to advocate. You got to keep pushing. You got to
trust your gut.
Trust your gut.
100%.
Yeah, exactly. And like I was saying, you feel funny to argue with doctors or fight with doctors, but you got to push it to the point where you get what you need out of it. And it's okay. Doctors are human too.
Yeah. Well, I told my clients, at the end of the day, they went to school to be doctors. Sure.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we are giving them that job.
Right.
They are learning from us.
100%.
So with you not advocating,
you can only learn so much in school.
You learn from a textbook.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And it's not like one image fits all or one size fits all.
100%.
So they learn from you. So they learn from your kids. They learn from whatever. Like everyone is built so differently, and it's so amazing.
Exactly.
You know, like our body's a temple in general, and like in bottom line, right? So it's like we got to treat it like that. So when you feel like something is off or not right, like you have people to talk to, whether it's a holistic doctor to like a Western you know, like typical doctor or whatever.
And just sharing with people, because you never know who's been through something or who might have a clue. And you just gave all those doctors so much more to realize when for the next person. So, yeah. Well, sorry, Mads, that you had to go through that. And Mom and Dad and Brixton. But we're so glad that it was really just a minor thing in the end. Poor guy. Yeah. And we're so glad that you got to be at Stars. And you guys leave in a couple days for your
what are you doing?
One of your wishes. They're going to Hawaii.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Have
We're
so
counting
much
down the
fun.
days. Oh, thank you.
That's exciting.
And then you get back, and a week later you swim with the dolphins.
Yes, and I have not told the boys that one yet. I literally was on the horn blower. We actually told the boys that we're going to Hawaii.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
For one of the wishes, and Brixton's first response. Can I wear my hiccup costume there?
Yeah, that was his first thing. He wanted to wear his costume to the plane.
I'm like, you heard me, right? He's like, yeah, but can I wear my hiccup costume today? I'm like, I don't care.
And Jace is going to need some of that Ativan to fly.
He's
a little nervous to fly.
No.
Yeah,
It's worth the flight, Jace, if you're listening.
He's
so
been.
good.
He has been.
Oh.
Yeah, he's been years ago. They haven't been as a family, but yeah, they'll be great. And then
so much fun.
My friend Aaron from high school, or not from high school, from third grade. Yeah, he manages the Hyatt there, so he's taking good care of me. I can't wait to. I can't wait for him to meet you guys and stuff.
We should have you guys come back on and tell us about your trip.
That would be a great follow-up.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you. Love you dearly. I've been so blessed to get to know you. And I know our worlds come together in a lot of ways, through the community.
Yes.
Yeah. So this was a total meant to be relationship. And I'll get my butt back in church. I haven't been in a few weeks. But yeah, that's not all. We'll be back. Whenever that week is. Yep, that's how I finish everyone. I was going to call this, but that's not all. But we'll be back next time, I'll say, because we've got a few episodes out of these two. So, all right. Well, we love you. Thank you for following us on Instagram, Bumbershoot Charity. And we'll keep covering life's chaos with humor and heart. Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Rosario.
Thank you.